Welcome to Ouch. Was that a ghost? This podcast may contain graphic material, which some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Help me.
Now that we covered that, here's your host, Liz.
Hey, welcome to Ouch, Was That a Ghost? With Mike.
And Liz. Here, back again.
This is going to be a Liz-isode, so I just wanted to do the opening because, Melissa gets tired sometimes. She can't handle all the burden. It's a lot on her. So I have to step up and actually say words sometimes.
I feel like in every episode you're on, it always calls for some sort of soundboard, and we don't have anything.
Maybe I'll just get a slide whistle.
You should.
So every time you say something, I'll be like...
That would be so annoying.
It would be, wouldn't it? Or like one of them squeaking chickens.
They overdid those.
Oh, yeah. Like when they did the songs. I don't know if you've seen the TikToks with the chicken song.
I have.
Like they remake all the famous songs with the chickens doing the squeaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Squeaker.
For a second, and then it gets annoying. Squeaker. So where are you taking us today? What journey? What adventure?
Today, I am covering the doppelganger.
Oh, doppelganger. So, all right. So obviously a doppelganger is someone who looks like someone else or acts like someone else, and it's like a bad version of that person.
Why is it got to be bad?
Normally the doppelganger has a negative inflection about it, I believe. But I think that it's someone who goes into people's lives, takes them over, and then kills other people as that person.
So it's an alter ego serial killer.
Yes. But they don't kill as themselves. They take on the identity of other people.
But doesn't it look like you?
It makes itself look like everyone that it kills.
So it's like Clayface?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. How do you... Yes.
So this is Clayface. The episode's over.
I win. What did I win?
A doppelganger.
Yes. Yes, I'm so excited. I'll take them out every Christmas. All right, so I wasn't close at all, so obviously.
You were. You nailed it. Oxford Languages defines doppelganger as a noun that means an apparition or double of a living person.
Very interesting.
Basically, they're a lookalike, a double of a person that's biologically unrelated. Also known as the evil twin.
See? Evil connotation. I knew it.
You nailed it. You always do.
Yes.
So, body doubles, are they a real thing? Does every person in the world have a twin? Some people think a doppelganger is a ghost, an apparition of a living being or an animal. Throughout history, we're told or shown different experiences had by people that are meant to lead us to believe that doppelgangers are real.
I kind of feel like everyone has a twin out there. It is weird. Like, you can look around. You always see, how you always see those people and they look exactly like someone else,
Mm-hmm.
My friend Jamie, her son Aiden, they were showing us pictures of people the other day that looked exactly like him. They saw a couple of them. So I don't know if I can share the story, but whatever, I will. So there was, while I was working in the prison, an inmate showed me a picture of his son, and I thought it was a picture of me because it looked exactly like me.
Is that your dad? Is that the moral of the story?
Exactly. That's what I was curious. I was really thinking that. I'm like, holy shit, is this possible? But he legit was my twin, spot on. I thought it was a picture of me. So I think everyone has a doppelganger out there of sorts.
But then there's people that just have a really familiar face. Like some people, I think me and you look kind of distinct, but there's some people that just kind of look like average Joes, and they must have 1,000 doppelgangers.
Yeah, maybe they're just not interesting enough to have someone who looks like them, so they just look like everyone.
Could be.
You bunch of boring average Joes.
Right? Do something with your face. Get a scar or something.
Yeah, fix your face. What are you doing? Just kidding, you're all beautiful.
Should we take it as a sign or foretelling of our future if we see our own doppelganger?
I mean, what if they're younger than you? Wouldn't it be the past?
Well, maybe then you have to go back to the future.
But what if you can't get up to 88 miles an hour and you don't have 1.21 gigawatts?
That's a problem.
There's a lot of problems there in that argument. So do you mean like a future life or a future?
It can just be like some people think that it's bad luck to see it, and that means like your death is going to come, or like Queen Elizabeth I is said to have seen her doppelganger laying upon her bed before she passed not long after.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be weird because doesn't she have like armed guards outside her room?
I'm sure she had some sort of guards.
So how did the doppelganger get in there? Was it a ghost?
That's what some people think. The doppelganger's a ghost or a copy of yourself.
All right.
But the scientific reality is the odds of actually seeing an exact duplicate or doppelganger is 1 in 1 trillion.
I like those odds. So you're saying there's a chance.
This means there's a chance. That's going off of all 8 facial recognition features matching exactly.
What are the recognition features?
Oh, gosh, I'm supposed to list them? It's like your eyes, your width, you know what I mean? Your nose length, your mouth, like that stuff that all lines up perfectly.
Gotcha.
And there's pictures. I don't know if this is actually doppelgangers or not, but there's pictures taken years apart, which some people think are time travelers and some call them doppelgangers. Like, did you ever see the photograph of that guy with the glasses on?
I did.
Way
I've
out
seen
of
it
place
from like the different centuries and generations. Yeah, I've seen that.
Or like on all the Facebook pop-up things. You know how they have the one that's like Nicolas Cage looks like somebody from years ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, Nicolas Cage has one of those faces, though, that he can blend with almost any guy.
You think?
Like, that looks like he's shocked or whatever. Yeah. Like, what do? They put Nicolas Cage's face on, what's his name from
John Travolta?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, Keanu Reeves. They took Nicolas Cage's face and they put it on his, and they go, Nicolas Cage makes Keanu Reeves look more like Keanu Reeves than he does.
Oh, really?
The way it goes. Yeah, it's funny. Like, and they did that with Nicolas Cage's on a few people's faces, and it just fits in because he has that, like Ross from Friends, like all of that stuff. He just fits into those faces.
I can see him on Ross. They both have kind of long faces.
Yeah.
So what is a doppelganger? Where did this notion come from? Is it folklore, or do doppelgangers really exist? Can you imagine the fright felt by Queen Elizabeth I when she saw herself laying perfectly still on her own bed? She was literally laid out in her death pose, or what turned out to be the way that she was laid out when she passed a short time later.
It's weird.
Even Hollywood would like us to believe that we're witness to many doppelgangers every time we watch a movie or television show. According to those folk, I guess Hollywood folk, they have a bunch of doppelgangers. We're supposed to believe that. I don't like the first one, Angelina Jolie and Megan Fox. I don't see those as doppelgangers, but a lot of people do. No,
not me really. I mean, other than they both look like they were drug users because they were so thin. Other than that, it's really nothing similar about them.
Dax Shepard and Zach Braff, which I do see that a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Jennifer Lawrence and a young Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
But
I remember there was one with Helen Hunt, and there was a young girl who looked just like her too. But yeah, I forget.
Did you ever see that baby Gordon Ramsay one? It was like an infant that has like such a pissed off face, and it literally looks just like.
Oh, it's amazing! I got to see that.
The baby doppelgangers are probably my favorite. There's like an Ed Sheeran one that looks just like him too.
Right.
But I don't know how much I'd include these as pairs, or I don't know.
What about all the stunt doubles? Do they count as doppelgangers?
Half of those don't even look like them. It's just the body. But if you look at their faces, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they want you to believe that these sets of people could actually be considered duplicates. Witnessing a doppelganger is considered to be, well, your own doppelganger is considered to be bad luck, a foretelling of some sort of negative experience about to happen. According to German folklore, a doppelganger is an apparition of a person or an animal. Some would even say that it could be of a beast. And these doppelgangers are often apparitions that are mostly invisible to others around, but it's only seen by the person that it's meant to be seen by.
Interesting. So they only make themselves available to the people they want.
So it's like an imaginary friend.
So it's like Drop Dead Fred.
And you missed the Film Joe podcast. We got into like a heated debate on there because me and Daisy were like, no, Drop Dead Fred was real. And Joe was like, no, he was just like in her mind. And then we were talking about like the scene in the middle of the psychiatrist's office, how they were all standing in
The
the same...
imaginary friends have their own community. Yeah.
Yes. See, Drop Dead Fred
I think
was
it's
real.
pretty obvious that he's just a continual being that's there to support fractured children who need him.
And how else did she get outside? Remember when she broke the
Oh,
glass
yeah.
window?
She's just amazing. Drop Dead Fred was real. And
Yeah.
it was so much better than the friggin' other movie.
He said the reverse.
I know he did. I wish I was on that show. I'm so upset I missed it. I would have counted his points so hard.
I had to defend it and give him all the boogers because he didn't. So if you didn't listen, you should go listen to Film Joe podcast when we covered Drop Dead Fred over there, if you want to know what we're talking about. But it's not just German folklore. There's millions around the world that believe doppelgangers or doublegoers are real. A doppelganger will supposedly study a person to learn all the mannerisms, behavior, speech before they show themselves. So they're in the corner just like practicing, like, all right, he does this.
I get it. You get a performance put on. You got to get prepped and rehearsed. Yeah.
Part of German folklore states that doppelganger is actually the spirit of a person trying to give a warning or advice to the unlucky person who witnesses the apparition. This would seem to ring true in the case of Queen Elizabeth I. Like, you're going to die or...
Yeah.
But then that doesn't tell you what you have to change. It's just like, be careful, but I'm not going to tell you anything else.
Maybe she had to change being old.
Maybe. She needed to get that, the gigawatts.
Maybe it's nothing you can change. Maybe it's something... You just have to accept your fate.
But I wouldn't even want to know at that point if it's like you're going to die tomorrow. Like, I'd rather die oblivious.
In like German, do they call him Doppelganger?
I love German everything.
I know.
I was waiting for you and Haley to do that TikTok to that abracadabra.
Oh, we were gonna. I was gonna break out the Care Bear costume and do it, but I don't think I could handle that dance.
Whatever. So
it's a lot.
Of course, in today's world, doppelgangers are not seen as sinister or evil. They're also not said to foretell bad luck. The doppelganger is not the same as the idea that everyone has a twin. Because somebody can look like somebody else or be mostly identical to them, doppelgangers are actually spirit doubles.
Uh-huh.
And this has a history that dates back thousands of years. When it comes to folklore, the double not only resembles the person identically, it also walk, talk, and act like the person. So they really studied up their role.
Yeah.
And this also brings me to another thought of doppelgangers. If you've heard of glitches in reality, most often seen in pictures on the internet of one person that seems out of place in the actual picture.
Yep.
Like there's a picture years ago of 3 women walking down the sidewalk. One of them looks like they're talking on a cell phone. And this was from the 20s or the 30s. I'm not really sure. Like way before a cell phone was ever a thing.
Yeah.
Or the picture of the kid with the sunglasses that was super out of place.
Yeah. Just people who are from a different time that are sitting there. Yeah.
But on the cell phone thing, the story behind that was that the woman worked at the DuPont factory and they were testing out wireless devices back then.
Okay.
You can type in glitch in the matrix and come up with hundreds of photos, what's considered to be doppelgangers online. Most of these include similar outfits worn by people, somewhat similar in appearance, but these can easily be explained away as people having similar tastes in fashion or...
Yeah, or just be in the similar time, and there's only so many stores that sell the same items. And
yeah, but some people, even when you look up doppelganger, like they had a picture of all these guys that all had bald heads sitting in a row. But I mean, men get older and lose hair. So maybe it's Hollywood trying to push this of the strange and eerie situations. The type of situation that will draw many viewers to make a studio loads of money. Is science trying to scare us out of these paranormal beliefs or possibilities? According to the Smithsonian Institute, doppelganger, or two that appear to be identical without knowing each other, do share some DNA.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Religious beliefs can explain that simply by stating Adam and Eve. The religious teaching that Adam and Eve are the first humans, so of course there's bound to be some DNA, albeit a small amount, that's shared by each person.
We're basically all formed from the same DNA, so it's just a big incestual party, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
No, that makes me feel better about the whole situation.
You should. Science argues that it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance that you have a doppelganger, and folklore says it's like a spirit or an apparition. One of the most well-known examples of a doppelganger is the story of Emily, I think it's Sage or Sagi, Sagee. Sagi?
Sagi.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
In 1846, 32-year-old Emily was hired by a boarding school in Latvia to be a French teacher. She seemed to fit right in, By all accounts, she was a good teacher, very kind, described as having a little bit of an anxious disposition, just sort of nervous, which I get that. Within a few weeks, rumors started around the school like, hey, I just saw Emily, Miss Saji or Miss Raji over on that side of the building. And the other student would be like, oh, no, you must be mistaken. She was on this side. And one day in front of a class of 13 students, Miss Saji or Mademoiselle Saji was writing on the blackboard, and she started writing slower as if she was just exhausted. And then there were two Mademoiselle Sajis, two identical women, both performing the same movement and gestures in real time.
Strange.
The only way to tell which one was their teacher was the piece of chalk that she held in her hand. The other one had an empty hand, but was making the same movements as if she was writing the lessons on the board as well. And this continued on. Sometimes the copy of Emily Saji would mimic her movements, and sometimes she would do her own thing. On another day, in front of 42 students, the students were doing embroidery, probably home ec, which they should still have that, by the way.
I agree.
And from the window of the classroom, the students could see Emily Saji outside in the garden picking flowers. The teacher that was teaching the embroidery class left the room, leaving her chair empty. In that same empty chair appeared the figure of Emily Saji, and they looked towards the flower garden, and she was still out there picking away, but slower than before, almost lethargic.
That's not creepy at all.
No. As the other Emily Saji just sat in the chair, motionless. So students went up to the teacher and just tried to touch her, and the student's hands would go right through. But some described a little bit of resistance, like the feeling of like a crepe, like just barely resistance.
Yeah.
And other students reported passing right through her as they walked by the ghostly counterpart, I guess.
Interesting, yeah.
The figure in the chair didn't respond to being poked or walked through. She only remained for a short time, and then the figure disappeared. And as soon as she did, the Emily that was in the garden started moving at regular speed.
So weird. So did this happen often with this teacher?
Yeah, it just started to happen. Like, she started working there, and then she just started having copies throughout the school.
And everyone just accepted this?
Well, the school started to lose a lot of students. It went from 42 to 12 over 18 months.
Yeah.
And she was asked to resign, her response being, quote, the 19th time. It's very, very hard to bear. When she was asked what she meant, she said that she started teaching at 16 and she's been fired from 18 other schools.
Wow.
So she had to go live with her sister-in-law, and the young children there that with her sister-in-law, her nieces and nephews just accepted that they saw the Aunt Emily's.
She got a doppelganger. My question is, there's got to be some sort of lawsuit for wrongful termination in there, because it's not like she's not doing her job. She just has a ghost taunting her. It's not her fault.
Oh, that would suck.
You're
Imagine that you lose your job
you
because of
lose
that.
your job because you have an extra body helping you. Spirit.
Right?
So weird. Would you be pissed at the ghost or the school?
Both. I'd be annoyed if, like, all of a sudden you're just, like, trying to pick flowers and you just get so tired and go into slow motion because this lady wants to sit in a chair.
Now, what if she was like, while she's at home, though, you got to go sit in a chair and relax, and she does all your dishes and laundry?
All right.
That's like
fine.
See, you only talk about the negative doppelgangers. I told you there's a negative connotation with this. I'm waiting for the positive one who, like, helps, right? No? Got nothing?
Yeah, no. Okay, so there is one, actually. I'm trying to find it. My notes are so
that's
scrambled.
what I'm trying to get to the good here, because you said it could go both ways, yet you've only proven my point right. And by the way, Paul Giamatti looks like Homer Simpson, so there's a celebrity doppelganger.
Thank you for that. I mean, it
You're
has
welcome.
to happen anyways, because we as humans, we live in a finite number of gene pools. You know what I mean? With that many people, resemblances are going to happen. And now we have internet and all that stuff. So it's not like you're having the painting done in Italy and shipped to whatever. Like, there's actually instantaneous pictures all over social media and
100%.
apps that can, like, narrow it down.
And then you add in, like, everyone does their hair and makeup the same. Everyone does all that stuff the same. It's
contouring.
Yes, contouring's huge. Yeah.
The first known use of the word doppelganger, spelt as it is today, dates back to the mid-1800s. In the last few hundred years, it's changed to be a more paranormal thing. Its concept has been seen all over the world in different cultures, fictions, mythology, and it usually is, I'm sorry, Mike, a sign of evil, bad luck, bad omen.
See, called it.
Egyptian mythology has Ka, or spirit doubles, which is said to be used by a Greek princess to help her stop the Trojan War. Finnish mythology says that all nouns, persons, places, or things have a haltija, or a guardian spirit.
Mm-hmm.
One example is a etianin, or a first comer, which is more an image following a path or a person that has yet to walk. So, like, if you were going to walk in the front door, your guardian spirit would go in first.
Interesting.
Like, it's a shadow of somebody that hasn't arrived yet.
Okay. And this happens at like spiritual temples and stuff, or is it everywhere?
Everywhere.
Oh, okay. So do you have to have like a certain ability to be able to see these spirits come through?
You just have to be there sooner. You have to raise yourself.
When is now? It just happened. It just happened.
I love that movie. A lot of Muslim countries believe that a Karen, is an evil spirit double that exists for everyone. The double acts the same and even has children that will be identical to the original children.
Oh, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had multiple children, didn't he?
Yeah, but basically, like, you'll have a double of, like, there would be another Mike with the same children somewhere else that would look just like your children.
Oh, so it's family doppelganging.
Yeah. And Nordic mythology has a Vardoger. Don't worry about it. I pronounce everything right, which I like.
Badoga.
This is the good one that you wanted. This is a ghostly double that performs a person's activities in advance.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is like someone who's fast forwarding your life for you, like getting rid of all the errands and stupid chores.
Like, you got to mow your lawn? I already did it. What are you doing? You're late, bro.
I agree. Let's get this thing. How do I get this doppelganger?
Well, you just have to be, I don't know, Nordic mythology. So you just got to be a Viking real quick.
Well, I have Swedish blood in me. Does that work?
All right. Well, sure. So your lawn's going to be done. In 1787, English author Francis Gross published a book and used the word fetch. See, Mean Girls? Fetch was used to describe an ominous carbon copy of a person.
I didn't watch that movie. I thought I told you this before.
You didn't watch Mean Girls?
No, it's a movie that
a
movie that bypassed me and I never got into. That's the one with Lindsay Lohan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just never got it.
Stop trying to make a fetch a thing. See, you'll get that reference if you watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it now. Okay.
But to him, fetch was used to describe an ominous carbon copy of a person, like a supernatural double. German folklore claims that all living beings, including animals, have an identical yet invisible spirit double, not a ghost, an apparition, and the double being the evil version. And to meet them is a sign that death is near.
That sucks. That's negative.
That is negative.
You're gonna die. So I was just gonna point this out that they have a Find Your Doppelganger site where you can scan your face and find people who look like you out there.
Are you gonna do it?
No, because now when you find them, death is near. So why would I go ahead and kill myself? That sounds awful. I was just about to, and you stopped me. You saved my life.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll never be able to repay you.
It's been used in so many different, what was that Jordan Peele movie recently? It's been around in different movies forever.
Which one?
The
Us. Us, yeah.
Yep, when the bunnies were there and they were like tethered.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. It's been all over the place.
Yeah. I gotcha. The new thing I saw was like, I'm sure you've looked into the skinwalkers and stuff, right?
I haven't done them yet because I think that word is like supposed to summon them or something. That's why I wanted to look into it before I covered them because I don't want to be disrespectful.
I've seen some of those videos where they kind of look like people that people know type of thing, or like the person they're around too.
And their morphing ability, how they just like kind of, they like almost snake-like morph on the videos that I've seen when it's like a dog that just like turns into a human.
That's what I mean. So I wonder if there's some doppelganger in that situation.
Maybe. In 2087.
In 2087.
No. I got to finish my coffee. In 1987.
Oh, all right.
I'll just say it.
Like, wait a second.
I can't even. I was going to try to make this better, but I can't do it. So in
1987, there was a warrior on adventures, yeah.
And the enemy that they had to encounter was called the Dark Link, or the Shadow Link, who served as the final boss of the game. He's since appeared in I was basically going to talk about Shadow Link.
well, just explain what the Shadow Lake is. What is a Shadow
It's
Lake?
from Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. It was the final boss. And then he's been in like
No,
other things like Super Smash Brothers. I was going to try to make a little story, but I didn't finish that yet.
And that's basically about where you face yourself as an evil version.
Yes.
Is kind of what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Zelda 2.
Gotcha.
Dun, dun. But they use that in a lot of video games too. Baldur's Gate. Oh, yeah, that's what Anthony plays.
Even in I remember in one of the Disney ones there, the Keymaster, the Keyblade.
Mm-hmm.
With Sauron, did you play that one at all?
I don't think I did.
You end up playing like a evil Sauron. You have to fight yourself too. Same idea, but yeah, there's a lot of them like that where you have to fight yourself as an evil version. Well, one of the most famous versions of that is Luke Skywalker fighting himself in Star Wars.
I never saw Star Wars.
Oh, well, there you go. So we're even for the Mean Girls.
No, but my movie's really good. I don't think anyone's seen yours.
I mean, I'd like to put the percentages to the test on that one. Just saying. Can we do movie sales? And
should be about the same.
Yeah, probably. And all the merchandise, yeah, I'm sure it's about the same.
So scientifically, it's been found that people who are true lookalikes and have more similar gene than others do, you know what I mean? Like if you share more genes, you're going to look more alike.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
And this doesn't only affect how your face looks. It also affects like your physique and your behavior.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have you seen these the twin videos that they do?
The twin videos?
Where they have them stand on opposite side of walls, like young kids as twins or teenagers as twins.
Oh, yeah.
And they ask them to like touch their head and they both touch it with the same hand. They ask them to pick up a leg. They both pick up the same leg or do a dance or make a face and they all do like the exact same thing. It's pretty amazing.
I want to believe it, but I feel like most of those are staged. But twin
staged, yeah.
connection is like so fascinating.
I think it's believable because I mean, honestly, the people's reaction most of the time are pretty sincere. It seems like so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially with the babies, like how do you unless you're in front of them showing them which arm to use or something, but who knows?
Yeah,
it's still fascinating to think about.
It is.
Yeah,
and then there's I can't pronounce anything. Hudoscopy. It's a term used in psychiatry and neurology for the hallucination of seeing yourself at a distance. It can occur as a symptom of schizophrenia or epilepsy, and it's considered a possible explanation for a doppelganger phenomenon. But it happens a lot more than just like from a distance. So I guess that's one little explanation.
Yeah. What is it called?
HEAUTOSCOPY. Like hudoscopy.
Hudoscopy.
I can't pronounce anything.
What a weird word.
It is. The copy I get at the end of it, that's about it.
Yeah. Seeing one's own body at a distance. Schizophrenia and epilepsy. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of this before.
Right? It's creepy. But criminologists also find a practical application for the concept of facial familiarity and similarity due to the instances of wrongful convictions based on eyewitness testimony. In one case, a person spent 17 years behind bars, denying any involvement the whole time, and he was finally released after someone was found who shared an amazingly striking resemblance to him and shared the same first name.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck if there was, like, another Mike that looked just like you that did, like, this huge crime spree.
Yeah, that's creepy. That would suck so bad, and you just get taken down for it, and he's still out there just going.
Yeah. Eventually, this guy did get out when they found the other one, but, I mean, imagine how many people don't.
Oh, that would suck.
Like, it wasn't me, even though it looks just like you.
Right.
It was studied by different psychiatrists, psychologists. Sigmund Freud explained the psychoanalytical value of doppelganger in his book, The Uncanny, where he explains that the doppelganger or the double is rooted in narcissism of children, in mirrors, and you know what I mean? Just like obsessed with yourself.
Is he just saying that we create our own doppelganger in our head? Or is he saying that, oh, okay. So I thought you meant like it creates another entity by like the kids looking in mirrors and stuff like that. But he's actually saying that you create your own doppelganger by your narcissistic behavior.
Yeah. So if you see someone, like if you look at I don't know, Henry Cavill, and you're like, oh, I look just like him, because
people
you're just
like to see themselves in other people. Yeah, it's how we form communities and stuff like that. It's just we find the commonality of people, and I'm sure that it extends to looks as well. So it makes sense.
But because it's his work, the uncanny, it goes into like, even though you see it in somebody else, you're looking for the darker stuff.
Of course you are. Everyone sees the worst in themselves. So if you see yourself in someone else, you're going to see the worst version of yourself. It's just the way we are as human beings, unfortunately.
Pretty much exactly how you explained it. You look at it first and it's comforting, like, oh, and then it ends with a bringer of death.
Yeah.
And they say that the doppelganger is a manifestation of repressed thoughts related to a psychoanalytical concept of negation. The negation involved with the appearance of the doppelganger is used as a tool to map out the individual's ego.
Interesting. So it's like a shadow side.
It's the dark side. So what do you think a doppelganger is?
I mean, obviously there's billions of people in the world, and it's just, of course, you're going to run into people who look very similar to you. We all come from different ethnic backgrounds, different areas of the world. There's going to be commonalities between multiple people. It's just the way it is. Do I believe there's an evil doppelganger that's not a spirit? I don't think not a spirit. Maybe there are spirits out there. If there are, I'm sure there's spirits that try to look like the person they are to find a way into their life and confuse them and screw with them.
So you think you have someone watching you right now studying? Like, oh, he drinks coffee with his pinky up. I got to learn that. I got to remember that when I start the roll.
I don't drink coffee, otherwise that would make sense. My tea, maybe. But see, these doppelgangers got to get better at their job. They haven't studied me well enough yet.
Well, he's still studying. He hasn't taken over the part yet. Maybe he's cutting your lawn.
I wonder if they're going to like call themselves Mike, or if they're going to go like a little off kilter, like call themselves Mich.
They could.
Because of that German background stem from. It's just the way it is.
Right.
You look for the bad guy in almost every situation. It's Germans.
I love that German actor. That's wicked funny. I can't remember his name at all.
The guy from Pitch Perfect?
Yes. He's fantastic.
Yeah. He's great. He's one of my favorite people to watch. Yeah.
But that's it. It's just that's why I said it's kind of all over the place.
I like it. I mean, but in all honesty, I 100% agree that there's some narcissistic behavior in the doppelganger theory, because everyone does. Everyone sees themselves in a lot of things, because that's what we do. We're individualized people who are very selfish in ways. So, of course, we're going to like put an extension of ourselves out there. You hear a song, you think it's about you and your life. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It's just the way you do things.
I bet you think the song is about you?
Yes.
Don't you?
I mean, I am so vain. It's the way it is.
So what would you do if you went into your room and you just saw a doppelganger just laying on your bed with his arms crossed?
There'd be two choices. I'd either fight someone who could finally challenge me, or I just stop making out with myself. It would be awesome.
You are so stupid.
There's only two ways to go there. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, honestly, to have a second version of me wouldn't be all that bad, because then I could, like, if I don't want to do something, I'd have the doppelganger. We could take turns. Like, one of us could chill, one of us could clean, one of us could mow the lawn, the other one could get groceries. You know what I mean?
It'd be like the best marriage.
I think we'd work it out. We'd come to, like, some sort of compromise.
I would be so freaked out. And it's not even if it is like a spirit figure. You can't even, like, fight him.
But there's so much potential if it's not, like, an evil one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every movie or TV show has shown me that that's not a good idea to make plans with the doppelganger. They usually take over your life.
Do they? Damn it. Rick and Morty ruining everything again.
Agreed. Oh, did you ever see that spaghetti episode with them?
It's my favorite. I love it. It's so gross. It's so good. There's so many episodes that are so cringe but so good there. Oh, it's...
And the sea guy, what's his name?
Oh, Mr. Nimbus?
Yeah.
Why are you having an orgy with Mr. Nimbus? Because he asked us to. He asked everyone to.
That show is so out of control. Oh my gosh, I love it.
All right, well, thank you for the doppelganger having honor. It's time to say goodbye. We've had ourselves some fun. Now I'm gonna cry because the podcast is done. Bye, Liz. See ya later. Bye, Liz. Alligator. That's all.
I thought you were going to say elevator. Go ahead.
No, all right, yeah, elevator. Elevator game.
Thank you for listening.
All right.
If you need more content or just want to help support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com and search Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you need some snazzy merch, you can find it at crowdmade.com by searching Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you have a story you'd like to share, you can email it to ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and all the other social media platforms under Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Help me.
All links can also be found on ouchwasthataghost.com.